Hi, folks on the Faculty Evaluation Committee. Thank you for tuning into another video from me showing you a little bit about what I do in the library and other things. And this is an example of one of the scholarly activities that I engage in. This is a digital newspaper archive, the California Digital Newspaper Collection. It's as the title says, has newspapers from 1846 to the present, all freely searchable. Nobody's charging anyone to access these newspapers. It's a service provided by the University of California system and some other sponsors as well, underwriters. And one way to keep the cost down is to have volunteer content editors, and that is one of the things that I do in this project. I've edited thousands of lines of code here, or newspaper text. Code sometimes might be more fun because some of these newspapers are in bad shape and it's a strain on the eyes. Let's take a look at one of the newspapers I've been working on. It is the Los Angeles Herald, and thought I'd show you the May 3rd, 1918 edition because it has someone named Marion McGrath in it. Might be a relative, I don't know. But there's a picture of her here, this darling little girl that she is. The story of how she was kidnapped from the care home that she was at, and then returned. It's a very interesting story, a glimpse into the life and times of Los Angeles in 1918. This particular newspaper is has in its digital form is broken up into sections. It's generally at the article level, and it's had some issues. Well, when the machine code machine will read the text and attempt to make sense out of it, and then render it in a machine readable format that can be read and searched by computers. These are just images. A woman dies, his husband is nabbed as foe. This is useless to a computer. It's really only makes sense to human eyes. And there's another layer, the optical character recognition layer, that goes behind this that drives how the computers use the text, or use the file. So let's load this up. I have edited this page. I cleaned up all of the text and transposed all of the let's get in closer here, all of this newspaper text here, and put it into the optical character recognition layer. This will be translated over to that layer so it can be searched for and discovered by anyone on the internet with a net connection. Now, there are some. Let's take a look at another issue real quick here that has not been edited by me. We'll jump out to, I think I'm the only one working on this one right now. Let's look at 1878. Generally, the machines do a pretty good job of reading text, but if it's stylized, if there's smudging, if there's artifacting, if the source material is substandard, then the machines have a hard time reading, the computers have a hard time reading and rendering the text in a usable format. Looks, this one here, having some trouble. The system had some trouble reading the text, and we've got all this artifacting here. There's some other Casimir says some problems with rendering text, and in order for this to be useful to people doing research, whether they're doing it for academic purposes or for family ancestry work, something like that, it needs to be, or a student doing a History Day project, this needs to be searchable with a computer, or you're spending many hours, a lot of time scanning through documents, waiting for pages to load, and hoping that your internet connection is fast enough that you don't have to wait a long time for a download. Let's take a look at this page right here. This one would be a real challenge for editing. And you just have to do your best at getting as many of the terms as possible rendered. So it's a lot of work, takes a lot of time, it's grunt work, it's in the trenches, digital humanities, digital liberal arts work, really in support of that, and in the wider community. But it's actually really interesting. I'm having a lot of fun doing it. You just have to pace yourself and not get eye strain. That seems to be the biggest problem I've run into with doing this project. Thanks for paying attention to this little video on the California digital newspaper collection I'm working on, and now I'll show you a brief tour of the Colorado newspaper project that I am working on too.